Segment of Happier at Home with Deb Marcello, and this week we are talking about finding love again in our older years. Thanks so much for waking up with us. This is a very interesting topic.
Thank you.
Because
yes.
Listen, everyone needs love.
Yes, it's essential. I mean, that social connection is essential in for anyone, but especially that social engagement after perhaps someone's been with their spouse their entire life and then they lose them. And so they have feelings of despair and they're not sure what their purpose is. And I have to say, when my mom was sick, so she passed from brain cancer when she was 65, she gave my father that permission. When I pass, I want you to find a companion. So one of the first things to really understand is that you need to work through those feelings of guilt, maybe, of feeling like you're doing something wrong. Well, you didn't choose to lose your spouse.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't something that was so much expected. So just knowing that you can work through those feelings, it doesn't take away the love that you had for your spouse, but you have maybe a whole nother life ahead of you, and just having a companion to be able to support each other, enjoy the rest of your life, should not take away from your spouse.
I have to imagine, though, that can be maybe a challenging conversation to begin to have with a loved one.
It is, and there are support groups that you could also go to. In Rochester, there's Neutral Ground, but it is a challenging thing. And you know, no matter how much you tell your parent or the older person that you give them permission or don't feel guilty, they're still going to feel that way as well. But then along that line, you have to make sure you're being smart about things. You know, don't just trust everyone, because there's still predators out there. So,
yeah, you say trust your instincts with this.
Yep, trust your instincts. Make sure that if you're set up on a blind date or you're meeting someone online, make sure you're smart about it. Meet them out in public, perhaps meet in groups of friends as well.
That's a good idea.
To just protect each other too.
Absolutely. And we know a lot, there's a lot of catfishing online in the dating world, and that's how a lot of scams start. And unfortunately, a lot of people up in their years, they fall for things like that. So it is good to have that support system.
Right. Yep. And so looking at the different places that you can meet someone online can be a place, but look at where you normally would socialize. It can be churches or synagogues, going to your grandchildren's sporting events or different shows and plays and things like that. But you can meet people anywhere. There are groups that are meant for older people just to have fun. And I'm telling you, they do a lot. And when my father is going out, I'm going to bed. So it's just like all the roles are reversed again. But there's a group called the Fundraisers.
Do we need to set up curfews?
Actually, I do. I tell them, Dad, you need to get to bed. Just make sure you're like sleeping. And it is, you know, it's something that it's a new life and a new experience for people. But if you're making those social connections, even in your limbic system, it's a requirement for healthy living. So making sure that you are doing things the right way, not limiting yourself, and making sure that you're able to make those connections and finding new ways to meet people too. There are groups online that you can just find people with similar interests as you too.
Such an important conversation, and an interesting one at that, because again, we all need love.
Yes.
You need it. You need it. Where can people go to learn more?
We'll post this blog right on our website at happierAtHome.com.
Perfect, and we'll put all of that and more on our website, 13wham.com.